Hello, welcome to another segment of We Would See Jesus. Today we want to speak on the subject of our holy day. And we're going to start in the book of Exodus. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. I believe that God has perfectly placed today's subject, because 2 weeks ago we spoke on the subject of holiness. And the word holy means to be separate, means to be different, and means to be out of the ordinary. And then today we want to speak about our holy day. And then last week we focused on the first 3 commandments. Have no other God but the Lord our God. Don't pray to any image, and don't misuse the name of God. And today we want to examine this quote that we just read is the 4th commandment. So the holy day, otherwise known as the day of rest or the Sabbath, it fits the word holy in every regard. This day is separate from the other 6 days. It's different and it's out of the ordinary. The phrase holy day is used to comprise the word holiday. And who doesn't love a holiday? Everyone loves a holiday. And God, blessed be his name, he has given us 52 holidays. He's given us one holiday every single week. And it's important to remember this. And God himself set the example for us. The book of Genesis, so the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. On the 7th day, God had finished his work of creation, so he rested from all his work. And God blessed the 7th day, and he declared it holy, because it was the day when he rested from all the work of his creation. Now understand that God didn't rest because he was tired. He was setting a precedent for us. He was setting an example for us. We should rest on the 7th day, which, by the way, is Saturday. You can look on any English-speaking calendar, and the 7th day is Saturday. And not just English calendars. Other languages point to the same fact. In Spanish, the word Saturday is called Sábado, which comes from the Hebrew word Shabbat, which is Sabbath. That is what Shabbat is the Sabbath. This is a day of rest for all men and women. It's a day for us to recharge our batteries and to do that which relaxes us and regenerates us. And now for me, I broadcast this channel each Saturday, and I like to cook on this day. I find cooking to be very therapeutic and very relaxing. And I recommend that whatever connects you with God, whatever relaxes you, and whatever regenerates you, do those things. I only suggest that you cease from financial labors or business-related labors, and don't do chores that cause you to sweat or become weary. It's not a good fit for a holiday. And however, even here, Jesus points out exceptions. In the book of Luke, one Sabbath, when Jesus went in to eat in the house of a prominent Pharisee, he was being carefully watched. There in front of him was a man suffering from abnormal swelling of his body. Jesus asked the Pharisees and experts in the law, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath or not? But they remained silent. So taking hold of the man, Jesus healed him and sent him on his way. Then Jesus asked them, if one of you has a child or an ox that falls into a well on the Sabbath day, will you not immediately pull it out? And they had nothing to say. So even on the Sabbath, You know, doing good is always okay to do. Whether it's on a Sabbath day or a non-Sabbath day, doing good is always okay. And also doing what is necessary to do. So if your ox falls into a ditch or a well, it is absolutely okay for you to take care of that ox. You know, and some say that honoring the holy day is like just that's a Jewish tradition. That's not meant for the Christian church. I disagree. If we look in the book of Luke, Jesus came to Nazareth where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath and stood up to read. Jesus honored our holy day. Jesus honored our holy day. But not just Jesus. The book of Acts says, and Paul reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded both Jews and Greeks. The early church honored the holy day. It wasn't something that Christ did away with. This is something that is still important for us today. Now, the religious leaders, and they were called the Pharisees. Jesus always had an issue regarding the Sabbath when it came to the Pharisees. Jesus said to the Pharisees, the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. I'm going to reread that. The Sabbath was made for man and woman. It was made for us. We weren't made for the Sabbath. So the religious leaders who were called the Pharisees, they had reduced the holy day to a bunch of rules and regulations. They had what's called the Tanakh, which is very similar to our Old Testament. But they also had another book which was called the Mishnah. And the Mishnah was supposed to expound upon and clarify the Tanakh. And the Mishnah identified 39 things that you must not do on the Sabbath. It's like a big thou shalt not. And I'm going to read these without going into depth. But if you do want to go into more depth on any of these, you can go to the website Orthodox Union, and that is ou.org, ou.org, and then they expound on each one of them. But here are all the things. Thou shalt not: carrying, burning, extinguishing, finishing, writing, like writing, erasing, cooking, washing, sewing, tearing, knotting, untying, shaping, plowing, planting, reaping, harvesting, threshing, winnowing, selecting, sifting, grinding, kneading, combing, like combing your hair, spinning, dyeing, chain stitching, warping, weaving, unraveling, building, demolishing, trapping, shearing, slaughtering, skinning, tanning, smoothing, marking. Whew. I'm just glad that they didn't put breathing on the list. Yes, you can breathe 6 days, but boy, that seventh day, it takes too much effort. No more breathing. It's like, suffice it to say that mankind took something that was beautiful. God meant for our holy day to be beautiful, but they made it an uglier thing. They made it the hardest day of the week. They took a blessing from God and they turned it into the most wretched of curses. And Jesus severely reprimanded the Pharisees on this subject, along with many other subjects. You know, God didn't need to rest on the seventh day, but he knew that you and I needed to rest on the seventh day. You know, I'm in the profession of real estate, and this profession is very addictive. You know, sometimes it's even all-consuming. And I teach my agents to always take a day off. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. And I've seen it firsthand, is that, yeah, you can work 6 days a week. You're having fun at first. But after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 15, eventually you will turn and hate the profession because it has consumed your entire life. We need a day. We need a day. And once we realize that the Sabbath day, our holy day, our rest day, is a weekly holiday for us, then we fully understand what it was that God intended. And although I love every day that God gives me, this is my favorite day. This is my holy day, and this is my holiday. So now I'm going to go and prepare a luxurious dinner for my bride, and we'll see you next week. God bless you all.